Hi, and welcome to Scathingly Brilliant Idea. My name's Nancy, and today I am starting week 2 of my appreciation challenge using neglected things. So, for this category this week, this one's a real challenging one for me. When looking through my collection, I have some items that I have never used, and I have on the other end of the spectrum several items that I don't use because they're too precious to me, or I'm afraid of using them up and then I won't have them to use, so they just go unused. And I find that interesting that I have both ends of the spectrum. And really, there's three categories that this all falls in under. One is the area of stationary accessories. And for that, I really have more things that I purchased that really ended up being a solution for a problem I didn't have, but I might have someday. So I bought it. And then the biggest category by far is decorative items. That includes stickers, washi, ephemera, stencils, anything that I use to decorate my journals or planners. And by far, that is the area that I have the most in. And I would also include in that category non-fountain pens. So since I switched over to fountain pens about a year and a half ago, my vast collection of gel pens and brush pens and other markers that I had collected have largely gone untouched to underutilized. So I am going to challenge myself this week to pick up some of those things. And I would say the third category is paper, as you saw on my intro video. And I'll throw a little clip in here as well. I have a cart of papers that they're all different journals, different books. Some are loose, different sizes. And I purchased them thinking that they'd be neat to try, but then I'm too afraid to try them or use them because they're the only ones I have of them. So some strange thinking going on my part, but what I am going to do is quickly walk through, well, maybe not so quickly, walk you through these items that I'm talking about, and then I'm going to tell you the challenge that I'm going to undertake to at least one of the things I've decided I'm going to do to kill off all three of those categories, hopefully. And I don't mean that sounded bad, to kill off, to actually address all three of those categories. That's a better word for it. So as you see here, I have my stickers laid out. So I'm going to set those aside, and I'm first going to talk about the stationery. This is the smallest category I have, is stationery items that I purchased thinking I would use them, but never got around to using. So I'll set this stuff aside for the time being. So that includes this punch, which is actually a punch that is used to index where you are in a notebook. So let me find a book here. If I were a little more organized, I would have had this out to begin with. So if you had a loose leaf book that you wanted to kind of be able to quickly thumb through to an unused page or to a page you want to use, you would just simply take this punch and glide it in, I think this way here, and it then marks a little notch out so that you can quickly thumb through something and find, in theory, the page that you want to look at. I think it's most useful if you have a thick book and you're wanting to quickly thumb through to the next unused page. That's where I've seen it used. So that is what I bought this for. Never used it. Another thing I bought was this Dominant Industry Measure My Pen miscellaneous tool. And this is one I kind of forgot I had, and it would be useful. I'm cleaning it off because it's quite dirty. Let me see if I can put this back against it. There, you can kind of see this is a line width measure. So it goes all the way down to a 0.2 thickness up to a 1.9 thickness, so that you can measure your line widths of your various pens on the different papers. So I thought this would be kind of fun to compare among the different inks I use in the pens and the different papers I use the inks on. Haven't been very scientific or useful about using that, but I will use something like this. Another thing I bought that I thought I would use is this little gadget that's a clipless stapler. I don't staple anything anymore, but I have it in case I do decide I need it. And then the last thing I'm going to cover in the unused stationery item is this Campus Choi. They're like little adhesive tip-in tabs. So you can peel them off of this backing, put adhere one to one side of a page and adhere one to the extra page that you're trying to clip in or tuck in. So instead of using a full tip-in tape, you just have a series of little tapes that you can use to tip it in. Now, obviously, washi does the same thing too, right? But it was cute. I wanted to get it, and look, it even has a little trash pocket. So if you slide this in your journal when you're moving, when you're out and about, you don't have to worry about unused strips of paper. You can just stick it in there. I just love the design of all of these little stationery things. Okay, so now we're moving into the big category. So since I've already have this tray out that I wanted to share with you, stencils is an area where I don't use a lot of stencils. I have stencils that are firm, and I have these stencils from Happy Planner that are flimsy but portable. These fan out. They've got one that was for journaling, one that was shapes, and one that's for trackers. And then also back from my Happy Planner days are these little ones that fit into the disc binder. You could make lines with them because those boxes were unlined. And I have those. I didn't use them much when I was in a Happy Planner. Definitely not using them now. This one I thought was cool because it is like a spirograph. So you put the different discs in that come with it, and you can move your pen around and you can make spirograph designs. That's kind of cool. And I may use that this week because I kind of forgot I had this. So the only other stencils I have are the ones, I do use the Midori ruler stencils that have the little shapes inside of them. And I think I showed that to you in my Galen Leather setup book because I do use those. But otherwise, these have gone unused. Now on to ephemera. So I did subscribe to a Gravy Box a few different times a couple years ago, and I had to stop that because I got more than enough to last a lifetime. And so these pouches are filled. I'm not going to bore you with it all, but these pouches are filled with all of the items I had received over probably 3 or 4 Gravy boxes, subscription boxes. And so it's a lot. I don't know if they still do them, but if you do subscribe, you get quite a bit for your money. But it's also stuff that isn't necessarily my style or, that I will use. So my vision at some point, these stickers came with it too. These are kind of cool. My vision at some point is to start a social club here in the Kansas City area for people that like fountain pens and journaling and all these things. So these would be examples of things I would bring to that to share the wealth and let some people show some love to things that I probably am not going to end up showing a lot of love to. I'm going to try using some of it this week, but I don't know how much of it I will get to. And then this other tub is more ephemera, and this is really more, this isn't purchased ephemera, this is just stuff I get that I hang on to, you know, like labels from, you know, different vendors, etc. And, you know, I think I will put them in a journal at some point. Don't know that I ever will, but I just kind of keep it tucked in here. Oh, here's a sticker quote book I got on Amazon that I swore I would use all the time. Oh, it's upside down. And I've used like maybe it 2 or 3 times. It's just got different, same quotes, but on different colored pages. So that's kind of it for the ephemera category. For the sticker category, that's the big one for me, and washi. I have these 2 binders that I've started putting the smaller and newer sticker collection books in. So this is just a campus folio binder, and it's gotten so chunky that I had to put some grips on here because it's slick and I couldn't pick it up readily. But here I just keep different things I've collected or purchased, and a lot of these fall into my too precious to use category because they're so pretty. And like these work as a set, so I need a certain layout to use them in. Different things I've purchased from smaller shops, some things from the Graby days, a couple of Coffee Monsters things I've gotten, other things from small shops, and some things that I printed out on my own with my silhouette and purchased files. So that's in here. And then in here, in this Happy Planner pouch, I keep all of my transfer stickers in this storage binder that is by the same manufacturer of most of these rub-on stickers. So these also kind of fall into the too precious to use. They're so pretty, and I use them primarily in my work planner because they're very thin and they don't bulk up. They add 0 dimension to something, but there's no reason I can't use them more. So I'm gonna keep that in mind. And then the rest, I have another binder in here of miscellaneous vinyl stickers, sticker flakes, and other things that I've either printed out and cut out myself or purchased. And then that got full, and so some of it's just hanging out here loose in here. So I've gotten into flake stickers quite a bit this year. And oh, here's another little book that I've transferred some of my washi tape stickers from the washi tape shop onto. And yeah, some more flake stickers. Some of these fall into, I'm using some of them, but some of them fall into the category of too precious to use because when they're out, they're out. But then, you know, there's always something new to replace it, and I need to remind myself that constantly. The other stickers I have are the old Happy Planner sticker books, and I'll insert a photo of those here. I have to go through those, and that's something that I've weeded some of them out. There's a lot more I probably need to weed out because I'm turning less and less to them. So that would be another thing that would go into this journaling social meetup or whatever if I get something organized here in the Kansas City area. The rest are markers, gel pens. I ran across these old acrylograph pens from Archer and Olive. Honestly, I don't even know. They're probably dry. They won't work anymore, but you know, I can maybe see about that. So my challenge this week is going to be dovetail with another project I'm doing. So I've been participating in the Artist Way with Leanne Likes and Allison at Little Coco Studios. And there have been a couple of challenges that were the activities in this series that are inspiring your creativity, that involve creating image boards. And so this project here will kill a couple of birds with one stone. This is a traveler's notebook accordion folder. So it's got the watercolor paper, and I thought it would be a good, I can keep this inserted in my Galen leather traveler's notebook, and I can use a variety of mediums on this. So there's a section for, a vision board I can put on the back, dreams, imaginary lives, my 20-year-old self. I had to chuckle, my 65-year-old self. Yep, that's like not too far away. And then 10 things I'd like to own. So I'm going to attempt to use up some of my stickers to represent some of these images. I'm going to use watercolors, sketching, markers, different mediums other than fountain pens, because this is good paper to do that on. So I'm not only using up something that I purchased a while ago, like I got this about a year ago and I never had a use for it, but I'm pulling it out to use it for this. And it will allow me to reimagine some of my other unloved or neglected items. In addition to that, I will incorporate them into my planners that I use on a daily basis and not get too hung up. I'm going to force myself not to get hung up about not using something because I don't want to run out of it, but it doesn't do any good just sitting in a drawer or in a desk somewhere. So I am going to cut off the video here, come back after I've had a chance to put some things together, and share that. I'm back. What I did was I went through a whole bunch of sticker books and I laid out some ones that I wanted to use for my collage on this wax paper, so I can have them ready to figure out where I want it to go. And I may end up like sticking this underneath and figuring out how I want to lay things out before I commit to the paper. I probably will. Um, but I have the categories for this. I have lots of different things to do, and I'm not going to do it on camera. I'll just come back and show you the finished results. But I have some exercises from week 6 activity, and then this is supposed to be like the autobiography of my life, um, and my, what vision I want for the future as well. So the exercise actually said to go through old magazines and clip pictures and go through the magazines, but I don't have any magazines, so I have my stickers. So that's what I'm doing for this. Almost all of these are Happy Planner stickers. There's a few of them that are from oh gosh, the independent shops that I will list in my description box because it's been a while since I've ordered from them. And then I also had been collecting images related to this, and so I just printed them out on my Ivy Canon printer. I've got, this is on sticky photo paper. It's not great quality photo paper, but for this project, I think it's going to be good enough. So I've got quite a few photos there, um, photo stickers that I'm going to use. I've collected a few additional washi strip things here, and um, some washi tapes I may end up using as well. And as for the writing, what I was doing is, since it's been a while since I've used some of these brushes, I had this complete set of Arteza Twi markers that are blendable, really soft brush pens. And this is a traveler's notebook watercolor spiral notebook. So it's the same paper that I'm making the collage on. And I wanted to just test some things out here before I mess this, because I only have one of these and I've got lots of pages on here. So you see here I was playing with some of those Twi markers and using a water brush to kind of blend some of the colors together. Here I plopped down the watercolor, the brushes, went over it with the water brush, and let's see if I can bring that in a little closer. And then I tried using this acrylograph, and I was able to get it to flow, but I'm not real crazy about its performance on this. Um, so I may end up just using outlining things. Over here I was trying to outline things with my Muji pens. So I've been to Portland last year for a conference, and there's a Muji store in downtown Portland, Oregon. So I went there and I picked up these colored 0.38 gel pens. I had used their black ones for a really long time, so I got really excited to see all these pretty colors here. So I'm going to use some of those. And then I also have some Micron or off-brand Micron pens that have the really different diameter permanent ink. So I'll use some of that to outline some of the letters I'm doing as well. And in addition, like down here, I was just playing with some regular brush markers. I have the Shikiori Sailor set, and then I put some of the Twi marker down below, and I tried going over it with the water brush, and the um, the colors on the Shikiori did not blend at all. It's a fairly permanent ink. This one I tried with the Marvi Le Pens, and it only spread a little bit, so that's just kind of more of a really soft halo effect. So I think the brushes that I'm going to get the most bang for my buck if I want to use watercolor fading is this. I decided I'm not going to try to watercolor in this just yet because I'm not really very good at it, and I know that's not the point of it, but I have so many other things that I can do, and I'm going to save watercoloring, I think, as a different challenge. So that's my setup. I'm going to get to work and put together my collages, and I will come back and show you a glance of the finished product. Oh, wait, there's more. I'm also going to use these markers. These are Deco.T markers that I got from JetPens, where you lay the color down, and then it's got an opposite changing color. That's what this is down here. If you can see that. You lay the pen down, and then the opposite side has a marker that will do either another color or white. These two are white, and this one is just a light pink. So these are kind of fun to play with as well. So I will be using this. That's probably a better thing to do with lettering. I can, make it, I just use the width of the brush itself, but I can obviously make a bigger spot to mark if I want to. Hope that made sense. I will be back in a bit. Thanks. Here's the finished product. The vision boards were put together for the different exercises from the Artist Way, using stickers and things I hadn't used in a long time, and markers I hadn't used in a long time. And the nice thing about putting this together in this Midori folio is that I can keep this tucked inside my Galen leather traveler's notebook and be able to refer to it on the go.